Well, there we go. Bloody hell. Sorry, chat. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, everyone's good. Hopefully, everyone now can hear me and understand me, and hopefully, everything is doing all good and okay with the show anyway. But how are we? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic Friday, wherever you are around the world. Welcome to our obviously match preview show, I should say, for the Southampton game. Of course, finally, the Reds are back in action, which has felt a while now, considering the fact that Liverpool have not played in over 2 weeks, and the fact that we have to wait till Sunday as well at 1 p.m. is still a bit annoying. The fact that we can't watch them tomorrow, but still the fact that, again, the Reds and normal football is back, I think is a massive positive thing anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below as well. Are you excited for the Southampton game? Are you nervous? Are you happy? For me, I'm very much looking forward to it because I think, again, look, top against bottom, but I do think Southampton have been a bit unlucky this season in terms of results, but still, again, we've got to get the job done in what is a massive week for Liverpool Football Club in terms of, again, the position in terms of the league table and obviously the Champions League as well. I think is also another huge factor in what already we will see. I think obviously Liverpool, we've got Southampton this week. Next week, then, of course, it's that dreaded game against Manchester City at Anfield, which will be huge. But of course, if results can go our way this weekend, Liverpool could be entering that game of a possibility going up to even 10 points clear if results go the way they should do. But of course, we've got to get the job done against Southampton anyway. And of course, let me know how you lot are as well in the comments down below as well. We did have the stream set up, and then I clicked the stupid button, which again lags out the show for some random stupid reason as well, which I don't know why it does that anyway. But big up Hero as well. Hope you're doing well. Big up Doug as well. Big up Tom as well. Hope you're all doing well as well. And guys as well, let me know your score predictions, your start 11 predictions as well in the comments, because again, I want to know your guys' thoughts. It'll only be a 10-15 minute show, of course, anyway. But again, wanted to come on tonight and, of course, talk about, of course, the Reds being back in action anyway. But speaking of course, bits, pieces of news as well about Liverpool, of course, Arne Slot obviously giving an update on the injury list. Of course, we all know, again, if you guys saw the short earlier on as well, again, we know now that Alisson Becker isn't fit enough for Southampton as well. He did mention that. Did also mention that he won't be available for Real Madrid neither, by the looks of things. So again, we're going to have to rely on Kelleher for at least 2 more games coming up as well, which again, I think all of us are pretty sound with, considering the fact that Kelleher has been amazing so far this season. It's just, again, whether or not, you look at that Manchester City game, does Kelleher keep his place? Does Alisson, maybe come in? I think even last year, I think Kelleher played the game. I think he played the game anyway at Anfield against Manchester City as well. So again, we already know Kelleher can be, of course, reliable in those top situations against, again, the teams like Man City. Of course, will be the number one against Real Madrid as well. So again, that's no problem in that sense neither. Of course, still no Trent, which is a bit of a downer. Of course, he did say again he's close to coming back, but that was a bit of a downer because, again, I didn't think, and I think a lot of people didn't think that he would be back for the Southampton game. But looking at that Madrid game on Wednesday, I don't think Trent's going to be available for that, and he might not even be available for the City game as well. So that would be a huge blow if we don't have Trent in that game as well. I think one bit of positive news though to consider, again, the fact that again, Federico Chiesa was involved in team training today, obviously with Jorge Jota as well. Liverpool actually got the forwards available in some sense or another. Of course, it's unclear whether or not they're going to be available for Sunday. My guess would be no, because again, they've come back so quickly. Obviously, Federico Chiesa, they've tried to, of course, build him up from the ground in that sense, in terms of giving him a pre-season during the international break, which again, that's going to take even more time. But it's that sense of Liverpool maybe next week could have the possibility of all the forward line fit and available in terms of Jota, Chiesa, Salah, Nunes, Diaz, Gakpo. Like that's even scary, I think, for Arne Slot to think about. That you've got so many good, talented attackers, to pick from, and I think that's a very crucial thing for Liverpool going forward as well. The fact that again teams don't really know what lineup Liverpool are going to pick. I think even with the Southampton game, I think it's a bit of it could be a bit of a mix-up, of course, because of the international break. Obviously, we do know the South Americans lads to come back very late in that sense, like Luis Diaz, Maka as well, Darwin as well in that conversation as well. They do come back very, very late. So whether or not, again, Arne Slot will bring them back in, I think if we were playing, for example, like early half 12, I think there'd be no chance for that. But I think obviously with the extra day's rest as well, we could possibly see one or two of them in the team. Anyway, for Sunday, of course, anyway. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments as well. But do you think Liverpool per week squad for Southampton? No. For me personally, mate, I don't think so. I think Southampton, even though they are bottom of the Premier League, you cannot underestimate anybody in the league, just purely down to, again, anybody can beat anyone. And at the end of the day, in previous seasons, when we've been going for a title in that sense, we haven't really taken advantage of the teams that we should be beating. Again, how many times have we drawn a game or lost a silly game here and there throughout the years where you think, well, Liverpool should have won that, or should have at least got all 3 points from it. And I think overall, again, it's just getting the basics right. That's what we've done so good so far this season, is the fact that the defensive shape looks excellent in terms of, again, if you look at the amount of goals we've conceded, was it 5 in the Premier League alone? That's scary enough in itself, because again, Konate, Van Dijk, if the both of them can stay fit, who gets past that defense in that sense? Like, I know Arsenal again got 2 goals against us, but apart from that game so far this season, we've not really suffered that much. Again, we've conceded obviously goals, and obviously you look at certain individual moments throughout the season so far. You think back to, again, the Forest game, it was one brilliant bit of movement that again allowed a really, really good goal. Wolves' goal, again, our own mistake in that sense as well. But them two, for me, at the moment, they are the best pairing in Europe at the moment in terms of Virgil van Dijk and Ibu Konate. And I think, again, if we can keep the core fit like what we did in 1920, like we did in 1819 as well, where, all right, one would get injured, but Virgil van Dijk would stay fit throughout the seasons. And then, of course, when we had that main core, whether that be, again, a Joel Matip next to Virgil van Dijk or Joe Gomez, again, it was very, very solid defensively. And again, that feels the case now, where, again, we're not playing such a high line against teams that, again, will get quickly counted on or quickly get, a ball in behind. And that's our main problem. It feels like we have kind of taken 2 steps backwards, where, again, we're allowing teams to come at us, and then we'll go, and beat them on the counter attack. Which, to be fair, for many teams, it works against perfectly, because, again, you look at Villa on the 2 weekends ago, where, again, the 2 of our goals come from quick counter attacks, and I think many more of our chances come against quick counter attacks as well. So that's kind of a really good thing for Liverpool. I think the only downside, I think, so far this season, especially at home, and of course away, not necessarily, to do this, but I think certainly at home, we don't control the ball as well, which, of course, like we spoke about in terms of the, who would we sign video. I think very much Liverpool need a controller in midfield, where, again, that might work in January. But I think so far this season, we've done well so far. But I think, again, if we can add additions to that to make that even better. I think even away games as well, I think we can easily control the ball. I think, the quality that we already have in terms of the midfield, in terms of Maka, Gravenberch, Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai. I think, Harvey as well coming back, which again was really good news as well. When I mentioned in terms of updates, that was really, really good news. The fact that Harvey Elliott is back, and he's ready to be picked for the team as well. But so I think, again, when we talk about potential starters, and I think, Harvey Elliott has to be in the conversation because, again, we've seen how good he was throughout preseason, and obviously, unfortunately, due to the injury, again, it puts him down the pecking order. But I think now him coming back, of course, it might even allow the conversation of who gets into that Liverpool midfield. Because I think for me, obviously, the number one person in the team at the minute, I would say, is probably Gravenberch because of his how well he's done in the six. I think obviously for me personally, again, we'll get starting 11 predictions going in a minute, but I think Maka, I think, is a nailed down starter, and then I think it's that conversation around the third spot. Is it Curtis Jones? Is it Dom Szoboszlai? Is it even now a Harvey Elliott? I think it's a great headache for Arne Slot, but I think for us lot, I think again, you go based on form, and at the minute, the most informed player out of the three is Curtis Jones, for sure. And I think, look, that's what you want from a team anyway. But do you think Real match is important? Of course it is. 100% it is. Score 4, Canate playing a lot of games at the moment. Yeah, no, he is 100%, and that's a good thing. And that's a really, really good thing in terms of the injury department, in terms of again keeping him available. How many times have we said throughout a season, or even back last year or the year before, by now Ibu would have missed a bunch of games, and at the moment he is not budging from that spot. He's not giving it up to a Joe Gomez or a Joel Konza, where we at the start of the season against Ipswich, there was a lot of shouts, and I think we even said it. Like, Joel Konza started the season alongside Virgil van Dijk. He looked the most comfortable alongside Virgil van Dijk. Had not a disastrous 45 minutes against Ipswich, but Canate come on, made a real impact, and hasn't looked back since. In that sense, and of course we'll need the likes of Joe Gomez and of course Joel Konza at times throughout the season, of course. But at the minute, there's no stopping Ibu Canate at the minute. And again, when we talk about, players up there for player of the season so far, Ibu's, he's got to be up there for sure. He's, we were going to do a video yesterday, but he was going to be in my centre-back parents for the team of the season so far, because he's been that good. And, some would say even he's been better than Virgil van Dijk, which, again, you guys know how highly we rate Virgil van Dijk as well. But Ash said Curtis deserves to play more than Elliott. I would agree for now, but again, we'll have to wait and see, because again, Harvey, I think, will add great quality to this Liverpool team as well. But again, just talking a little bit on Southampton as well, briefly, of course. I know I've spoken briefly on them. Again, obviously, bottom of the league. I think they beat Everton. I think it was, chat. If you guys can remind me, I think it was Everton they beat. Anyway, I'm just going to double check. Yes, no, they did beat Everton. They beat them 1-0, which, again, is probably the most Everton thing to go on to do. Anyway, but just taking a look at some of their results as well. Again, I know Pep Guardiola against last time out, or not last time out, sorry, again, when City played them, I know Pep Guardiola was very complimentary to Southampton for the way they played against them. Again, looking at that game in particular and looking at the statistics for it right now, again, some people will turn around and go, oh, City dominated, which they did. Again, you look at the possession, City got, I think was it 57% of the ball. They got nearly three goals on XG. Like, again, it was pretty decent, but again, only a 1-0 win, which was, a Haaland 5-minute goal. again, you have to take the team serious, even though, again, they've played, Arsenal, they've played Leicester, they've played City. I think obviously they lost to Wolves recently as well. So again, you have to take them with, you can't just take them and go, oh, take them for granted. You can't just go, oh, the bottom of the league, Liverpool easy get past them. You can't do that. We have to take them serious on Sunday. And again, I want to be going into that game against City knowing that we have got maximum points from what we've done so far. And again, City might drop points to Spurs. You never know. Spurs have been a bogey team for Manchester City over many, many years. And again, Arsenal, they've got Forest tomorrow. So I think that's a 3:00 chat. Let me know. But even still, they could drop points. And again, it's capitalizing on other people's mistakes. And if Liverpool, like I said, if Liverpool go out of that City game in a week's time after beating Southampton, after beating Manchester City, they could go 10 points clear already, away from Manchester City. Can you catch that? There's always a possibility that you could, but realistically, no. There is no catching 10 points in a Premier League race. And again, Liverpool might completely drop off, and touch wood, they don't. Must be slamming my desk right now. But Liverpool could. And of course, it's all ifs and buts, because, of course, City need to lose and so on. But again, having the points on the board and having the confidence, Liverpool, again, if we can, put on a real display and show everyone like, oh, Liverpool have won 4-5-0 against Southampton, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But again, it's not going to be as simple as that. It's going to be a tough game, and for me, I think it'll be very, very close. And again, not fine margins in terms of, again, a 2-1 or, or that aspect of things, but I do expect the game to be very, very close, indeed, as well. But do you think Liverpool buy somebody central defender? No. Not in January anyway, but yes, Ramsdale is injured, 100% he is. Again, I think I think he had surgery on his hand, was it, or his wrist? Again, I'm not too sure, but he is out for the game anyway. But big up Damo as well. Wouldn't mind if McAllister starts on the bench for Southampton. He always looks knackered after he crosses multiple time zones for international matches. Yeah, I would agree 100%. And to be fair, get your starting 11 predictions in the chat as well. But for me, this is mine. This is my starting 11 prediction for the Southampton game tomorrow. Quite easily, back five, Kelleher in goal, Connor Bradley right back, with Kanate and Van Dijk at centre half. I've gone with Costas in at left back. I think when you look at Southampton's main weaknesses, I think balls into the box. I think they don't really defend them that well. I think they're the third worst team in the league for that at the moment. I think on set pieces as well, they concede. I think they're second in the most conceded in terms of set pieces so far in the Premier League as well. So again, I think Costas is better at the moment in terms of, again, the ball delivery to Robbo, than Robbo, I should say. So I think for me, I'd start Costas as well. Obviously, midfield, like I said, Gravenberch, Curtis Jones, and Dom Szoboszlai. That would be my midfield. I would agree with Damo. I think Maka needs a rest. It's very much the sense of, look, Liverpool definitely don't need to risk Maka because we've got so much good talent on the pitch. Again, like I said, Curtis Jones, Dom Szoboszlai, they're capable of enough to, again, hopefully beat the Southampton team. But again, obviously you'll have Maka on the bench. But I think that midfield three, for me, again, I fully see Liverpool playing more of a 4-3-3 than a 4-2-3-1 against Southampton. So I think Curtis Jones and Dom Szoboszlai will be really, really good in that aspect of things as well. And then front three, similar theme. Obviously, Cody Gakpo in for Luis Diaz. I think obviously Luis Diaz coming in. Obviously, if Jota or Chiesa was available in that sense, well, again, was available to start, then I think I would start them instead of Nunes. But again, Nunes is pretty much the only striker at the minute available. And of course, Mohamed Salah had no games in the international break, had a full break, in terms of, again, no playing for Egypt or anything like that. So again, he should be fit and ready to go as well against Southampton. But for me, anyway, my score prediction, I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I just think it's going to be a very close game. I don't think it's going to be one of these ones where, again, Liverpool just go out and win 4-5-0. But I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen. But for me, a clean sheet will be the most important thing. Again, a strong defense wins you league titles. And for me, so far this season, like I keep saying, Liverpool have got that. And hopefully, again, tomorrow will be, or not tomorrow, Sunday, sorry, Sunday will be a repeat of that. Anyway, but for me, I'm going to go 2-0 Liverpool. I'm going to go Mohamed Salah. I'm going to go Cody Gakpo as well to get the goals. But yeah, another clean sheet for Liverpool would be amazing on Sunday. And hopefully that is the case anyway. But big up UM as well, saying the Reds are back, which means James Pierce-Cat is also back. Well, to be fair, we have got James Pierce coming on next week as well for a quick chat. So again, maybe you might see him again. The Cat anyway, UM anyway. But will be interesting to see how Curtis, Grav, and Dom knit together as a midfield three. I'm trying to think what game they were. Was it the Arsenal game? Hang on a minute. I'm going to double check because we've already had this midfield before. Was it Brighton? I don't think it was Brighton. No, because Maka was available for that. Was it Chelsea? Yeah, it was the Chelsea game where we've already seen this midfield before, where we've seen Grav, Curtis Jones, and Dom Szoboszlai. That three, I thought they played pretty decent that day together, of course. But obviously Chelsea threatened a bit more, obviously with the right back inverting and obviously causing the double pivot to be disrupted in terms of the structure of it. So again, look, it will be interesting, but certainly when we're more on the front foot as well. I'm very intrigued to see how it handles it anyway. But Ash says Endo, no for me. I think Wataru Endo has an amazing role in this squad where he is pretty much like if Liverpool are just winning 2-1 and we need everything like closed down and solidified, Wataru Endo is that guy. If we're talking about being a main starter in Liverpool's team, I don't think so. I think his role is very unique in the squad because, again, not many players would do what he does, or would be willing to do what he does. If you listen to him in interviews, I think even this weekend just gone, the previous weekend just gone, where he was speaking, I think, to Japanese TV, where he was speaking about his idols in terms of the Premier League, saying that, again, Mascherano was a huge influence on him as well. And, he is that type of midfielder. Of course, he's a very much a Jurgen Klopp 6, which is, again, is great for that sense. But I think for what Arne Slot wants from a 6, I don't think Wataru Endo is that. Obviously there's a conversation whether or not he does leave in January. I don't think he does. I think it would be out of the two. I think Tyler Morton would be that, because I think Arne Slot would like to keep that difference in terms of a 6. Like I said, you could literally put Endo on and he could win you shut the attack out and win you a game of football. I think that's a massive quality within a squad. The James Milner role, it's plain and simple as that anyway. But look, hopefully maybe next summer, maybe Endo might leave. But I think, again, Endo is a perfect role for this team right now, and hopefully that is the case anyway. But Ash going Liverpool 4-0, I'm guessing. Ash as well. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 for Liverpool. Hopefully, we'll get the job done, and fingers crossed, fingers crossed Mo Salah hat-trick for FPL anyway. But I'm going to leave it there for tonight, guys. Anyway, a big thank you to all of you guys for tuning in. Apologies the show was late. Again, problems with the StreamYard and all that good stuff anyway. But again, we'll be live possibly tomorrow night as well at 9, maybe a bit earlier depending as well. Obviously City playing Spurs as well. But again, Sunday post-match reaction will be straight after the game. So again, keep your eyes out for that at least anyway. But until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cop Council. I will see you guys on maybe tomorrow, but will definitely be Sunday. Anyway, until then, I'll see you guys then. Ta-ra.